And so after we had our first son, I said, I got to go back, because I didn't know where else to go. I knew that I needed to reconnect to God.
So you're talking about go back to the same congregation you were at, or
Yes,
go back
yes.
to God? Okay, I got you.
Because I didn't know like where to go,
Right.
but I knew I needed God, so I just figured let's go back there because I wanted the Torah. And while I was there was just kind of like this very different, I guess you could say, atmosphere. Things weren't as joyful as they were when I was originally there. And I was on the praise and worship team, and we would stay behind after, service was complete, and we would practice, whatever we were doing. And I was downstairs in the basement where the kitchen was one day to get a bottle of water. And all of a sudden, I just had this creepy, awful, horrible feeling, the kind that like gives you goosebumps and, makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, as the saying goes. Right. And I didn't know what the heck that was all about, but I literally beelined it and sprinted out of there.
That's crazy.
And then I went home and I had another dream, and this horrible, like just evil person appeared in the dream, and it said, your rabbi is going to cause you to be harmed. And basically was like, stay away from this place. And I did not understand that dream. And so I reached out to my old coworker, the one who had introduced me to this congregation, because by the time I went back, he was gone. He started his own congregation. And I said, why did you leave? Something's going on. Why did you leave? And he said, there's a demon in the basement.
Yeah, you went out right when you said demon in the basement. So I was sitting there going, so,
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I know. I was like, man, is that a setup? I wasn't sure.
Right. And see, within Christianity, they are all, they're, especially when you have a congregation that is formed from a formal Pentecostal pastor. And then, there was a lot of this concept of these unclean spirits and demon in the basement and everything. But let me back up just a little bit. Was this at the same location, but with just different leadership? Is that what you were saying? No, what I'm saying is that it was the same location. Yes.
Okay.
It was the same leadership. My coworker who introduced me to this congregation had already left. And he started his own congregation. I never knew why he left, because I didn't work with him anymore. And he left while I was taking a break.
Right.
So after I got that really creepy feeling in the basement, I called him to see maybe why did he leave? And that's when he told me, because there was a demon in the basement.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, he left because there was a demon in that basement, or
yes.
That's what I'm a little confused.
Yes.
So was it the location that had this bad spirit in it, or was it what was going on within this congregation? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask.
I'm not an expert, but I could tell you what they said. Okay. They think it was both. That it depended on who you ask. Some people had the opinion that it was location. Others had the opinion that this thing has been following this congregation around, because they would often do exorcisms all the time. And
they would do exorcisms?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They would lay hands. You have to remember that a Pentecostal pastor.
Oh, yeah. I understand the Pentecostal part, but that's just nothing. Usually, even within congregations that I've been around, if that did go on, nobody talked about it. It wasn't something that was open, it was, I've never even, let's put it this way. I'm not as well traveled as you, or, been around so much diversity as you have, but the churches around here, I've never heard of a church, a Pentecostal, a Baptist, Methodist, those are the only churches I've been around, nothing like that went on. I always thought that was a Catholic thing. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that.
No. I was just as surprised as you are because, that's, you call a priest, they say things, the person's head spins around,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, there was a gal who came in, and every time they started reading the Torah portions, they claimed that she would get really tired, really sleepy. And then they realized something was wrong with her. So everybody started laying hands on her, and they said this dark shadow popped out of her and ran out of the walls. And this was apparently a very common thing going on here. I witnessed nothing like that.
So this all was going on while you were gone, but not while you were there the first time.
Yes. It went, okay. Well, the dark shadow running out through the wall was before I got there. They were laying hands on people while I was there, but I never saw anything supernatural. I saw people praying for each other. I saw a lot of psychosomatic healing.
Right.
And I was very fascinated about the idea of unclean spirits. I mean, that was kind of cool. I was like, what's going on here? Tell me more. But I never saw anything. Even when I was in the basement, I didn't see anything. All I did was
But you felt something.
I felt a creepy feeling, and I didn't know what it was. And then I find out that this had actually been going on for a while, that the elders, is what they called themselves, of this congregation have had meetings upon meetings about this, because somebody actually did see it. And the person who did see it, it was who saw it that got me to believe it, because the person who saw it was very analytical. They are a scientist. They were an elder there and a teacher there, but they weren't like everybody else necessarily. They weren't running down to lay hands on anybody. They liked the Torah and to teach about the Torah. And yes, they were Christian and they were Messianic, but they seemed very balanced and reasonable. And this individual said that as he was leaving the basement, he turned around and whatever it was standing right in front of him and looked at him square in the eyes. And he ran out of the basement, got into his truck, and he claims that whatever was in the basement hopped in the back of his truck, like he heard his whole trunk go thump. And he drove to there was this Jewish store in the area, and he bought as many mezuzahs as he could. Like, it terrified him.
I mean, I'm laughing, but, I think I would have done the same thing, to be honest with you. I'm laughing, but I'm thinking that's probably Brad Mace right there.
Right. I mean, I don't blame. All I did was get the heebie-jeebies, and I was out of there. I couldn't. If something stared me in the face, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I probably would have passed out. But
yeah.
I was like, all this is going on, and you didn't think maybe you guys should tell the congregation that there's a renegade demon in the basement,
Yeah, by the way, if you're going down there.
Include that in your announcements, guys. So I left that congregation.
Right after you had that conversation with your ex-coworker, and he told you, well, yeah, it's probably the demons in the basement.
Oh, absolutely, because I already had
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. No, thanks. I'm not going to experiment. I mean, I had
I'm interested, but I'm not that interested.
No, tell me your stories. Don't invite me.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I had my own experience. I had the dream. That was enough for me.
Yeah.